Welcome back. Please like and subscribe for more content. Dramatic facelift, December 14, 2021. I expected it to be simple. The weight fell off and she became a supermodel. That, however, is a deception. Anyone who tells you that the drama ends with divorce is deceiving you. That person can't be trusted, hence it's a trap. The issues simply shift. It's as though drama has gotten a makeover, but it's still terrible in its core. The house has been sold. The massive check has been deposited, and now the troll from beneath the bridge appears. He creases his brow and demands his money as well as new custody. Just when I thought we'd gotten used to each other, the dramatics begin. Here's the latest stumbling block: travels to her state with the kids. He liked them for Christmas. I agreed that they would spend Christmas Eve with me and Christmas Day on a plane to sunny _, where they would spend the holiday week as a family. Isn't she adorable? I asked them to return for New Year's Eve and my birthday. That was difficult. But New Year's Eve is my holiday this year, he protests. Okay, but Christmas is a shared celebration that I am providing for you. Compromise is difficult, but it must be made. Then he begins to inquire about taking our 5- and 9-year-old children on random weekend excursions there. Do you have any idea how exhausted they'll be in school on Monday after 2 5-hour round trips in less than 72 hours? How is this beneficial to them? I believe you want to play house, but it is not in their best interests. I recommend that he look into taking them on long weekends or over spring break. He then states that he anticipates a holiday difficulty when he relocates. I tell him that our MSA states he will come here once a month. The reverse is not true. He's insane if he thinks I'm going to let our kids fly that frequently throughout the school year. But don't worry, faithful readers, I'm not sure how many of you are still alive. This is something I will not compromise on. Our MSA specifies custody. He arrives here. They only go there for 4 to 5 weeks during the summer. Please play house with her children, not ours. He's grumpy and accuses me of doing whatever I want and expecting everyone else to fold. I tell him that I followed the custody schedule he requested, made accommodations for his travel and vacations, and even negotiated a small sum of money for him. How am I succeeding? I'm being overly polite. I'm going to fold. But I'm the bad guy because he didn't get everything he wanted. Sigh, hello narcissist, it's been a while, but I see you're still alive and well. My theory is that if I remain firm and insistent on him coming here, he will eventually cease coming. Is that a bad thing? Kinda. Is that really necessary? Also, sort of. I'm not sure what the best option is. Perhaps I let my sentiments about them playing house to upset me, but I have to remind myself that it will most likely be fleeting. There was something about leopards and spots. I remind myself to keep my attention on the main issue, the boys. All of this will come to an end and finally run its course. Stay solid and firm till his inevitable move. Time heals, time reveals the truth. I'd like it to speed up. Karma for Christmas, December 29, 2021. For months, my ex and I have been debating whether or not to travel for the holidays. He recommended taking the boys to her state for the holidays in October. I agreed, but I wanted them to stay for New Year's Eve and my birthday. He concurred. Simple, no bother, no fuss. Then, a few weeks later, he whined that he wouldn't have the boys for either holiday. Christmas Day is a shared day, so I grudgingly agreed to return the boys on the evening of December 24th so that they could spend Christmas Day in her state. Everything was fine with that decision yet again. Then, I imagine, the little birdie he cheated with chirped in his ear again, and he returned a few weeks later and demanded that he have Nye as well. It was legally his holiday, but I gave him Christmas Day for it, or that I fly out to pick up the kids if I wanted them back for Nye. Sigh, co-parenting with the AP's input is exhausting. Recognizing that we could never compromise, I told him that we would stick to our legal agreement. We would share Christmas Day and he would get them for New Year's Eve to be returned on the 1st. He was also dissatisfied with the deal. Bottom line, if he doesn't receive all he wants, he's unhappy. But I know that adhering strictly to the legal arrangement will benefit both me and the boys in the long term. I mention this because he stated earlier this month that if he moves across the country, it will be costly and impossible for him to return here monthly, as our MSA says. Instead, he wants the guys to travel there on a monthly basis. No way, no how. We are not transporting 2 young boys across the country on a monthly basis because you no longer agree with the legal agreement we reached. I emailed my lawyer and informed her that this was his thought process in case the matter became complicated in the coming months. Her and I are ready. So, by adhering to the MSA now, I will have no legal space in the coming months. On Wednesday, 12/22, I received a call from the school nurse informing me that my 5-year-old was in contact with a positive student in his class. I immediately called my mother to have him picked up, arranged a COVID test for both boys, and then called my ex. "Well, that messes up my trip," he said. "Thank you for inquiring, our son is fine. Both boys are now in close contact and are unable to travel. So, what does he do now? He boarded an earlier flight and vanished? Wow. I believe spending Christmas with her children was more important to her." I know some of you are thinking, what about his health? He, too, is in risk of being exposed. My son was exposed on Monday, the 20th, and my ex had both sons from the 20th to the 22nd. He would not risk exposure because he was already exposed in this scenario. I'm telling you this story now since I didn't want to wait for their COVID tests. But after months of wrangling and his modifying our plans, the lads don't even show there. He's upset that the boys couldn't go, but he has no problem leaving early and not seeing them at all for Christmas. Both boys are fine and will be tested again tomorrow before returning to school next week. Now that I know they aren't sick, I can only presume this was all karma. His selfishness and hard-headed attitude were futile. Karma. My ex called at 7:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve to have a 90-second conversation with them and has yet to ask how anyone is feeling. I didn't even inquire about the test findings. I'm curious if AP was aware that this was the reason the guys didn't travel. Perhaps he lied and stated I wouldn't let them. This is simply because she has a little child who is not yet of immunization age. I truly hope my ex isn't an asymptomatic carrier for the sake of the child. I will also require him to be tested before picking up the boys on the 4th. I'm sure he'll say he's fine or that he's already been tested. I'll request to examine the results. I've learned the hard way that his word is worthless. I hope everyone had a happy Christmas. I had a great time with the boys. Happy New Year to everyone. Goodbye, sucker. January 19, 2022. While I've always been skilled at anticipating events and seeing the writing on the wall before it was written, there was one thing I was certain of: he was relocating. He danced around it for months. Why? That's an excellent question. I wish I could respond. I wish I had the answers to many questions. But one thing was clear: he was leaving to live with her and her children. Let us now examine this logically. Why would you conduct an affair with a woman across the nation, see her every other weekend and on long weekends, if you never intended to live there and make it work? That's all the proof you need, but wait, there's more. Before Christmas, my boys informed me that Daddy had accepted a position with a large, well-known corporation. I informed them it wasn't right, believing he told them he worked there only so they knew he worked for a corporation in some manner. To put a face to a name, if you will. So when I finally asked him, purely casually, he informed me the boys were correct. And, I hope you're sitting down because his office is in her state. So why would you take a job in her state if you weren't sure about moving there? I also submitted him a custody schedule that runs through May 1st earlier this month, and he has never even looked at it. Normally, he responds swiftly and informs me of the weekends he has set apart to visit her. Something was wrong. Finally, his lease expires on March 1st. He was not going to sign up for another year. I occasionally feel the desire to examine myself in the mirror. He must have seen the word idiot written on my brow someplace, and I have yet to discover it. So he texted me yesterday to inform me of the news. This isn't breaking news. This is information you were aware of but suppressed. I don't understand, and probably never will, why he can't be open. I'm not looking for personal information. I'm looking for information to help me plan the rest of my life. The rest of my life, literally. Because, as I, and many of you, have anticipated, I doubt he will be around for much longer. Isn't that unfortunate? Yes, it appears to be sad. The boys will be without their father. But he wasn't the kind of parent kids needed. He has improved recently, but it was a last-ditch effort to save their delicate and awkward relationship. I imagine how they will react to him 10 years from now, when they are older and more understanding. knowing that he had an affair, fought me regularly, and then vanished 4 months after our divorce was finalized may have a significant impact on the three of them's adult relationship. It will be interesting to see how he maintains that relationship over the following 5 years. I hope there is some effort for everyone's benefit, but as a magic 8-ball would say, outlook not so good. The good news is that my child support is more than doubling. This will be useful because I've been house looking, and the extra money will allow me to get a better house for the boys and me. I'm looking forward to it. The guys are quite excited about this. I believe the three of us are excited to restart our lives. They've already asked to come with me to look at houses and choose their bedrooms, and they're delighted about the potential of getting a pool. I hope I can tick all of their boxes, they deserve it all. To be continued.